Now, let's call Burmis in because the caller was talking about how he talked about it last night. I saw this last night. I actually printed it off Drudge. The caller was saying Burmis just ran off. He was waiting to come in here. Yeah, come on in. How many times that? The caller's saying he can't find it. Let me read to you the headline. Supreme Court rules police can initiate suspects' questioning. And it says by a 5-4 vote, the conservative majority, they're not conservatives, overhaul a 23-year-old Supreme Court decision that barred the police from initiating questioning after a defendant asserted the right to an attorney in an arraignment or similar proceeding. See, because the police were so corrupt in the 70s and stuff when all this happened that they passed laws and had rulings that the police just can't say because they put a gun to your head or intimidated you that you said you committed the murder or whatever. In 1986 decision held that once a defendant invoked the right to counsel, only the suspect and not the police can initiate the contact. That's saying don't start interrogations on people without people's counsel. And that goes back to the Bill of Rights and Constitution. That would be conservative, would be to keep that. See, and it goes on, expanding the power of police to question suspects, but it does not change the landmark 66 ruling barring the police from questioning a suspect who invoked the right to remain silent or have a lawyer present. He initially waived his right to a lawyer and was questioned by the police. He told several conflicting stories. Several days later, he appeared in court, preliminary hearing, and told a local judge appointed a lawyer to represent him who could not afford an attorney. And how this works is they say, look at these criminals. We need to get tough on them. But you get Nazi Germany, you get Soviet Russia. You take people's due process and their protections away, you get a tyranny, which is always the greatest threat to liberty throughout history. So the founders knew to protect that. It sounds crazy the way the media advertises it and the way they act, but really we need these, and better 10 guilty men to go free than one innocent man go to prison. Now the attitude, the feds have said, oh, it doesn't matter if around the country, over a third of the people on death row are totally innocent, or maybe half. A few innocent people are going to go to the lethal injection so that we are all safe. See, that's Napoleonic. That's tyranny. That's the flip side, the opposite of the Renaissance, of the Magna Carta, of Mosaic law, of freedom. But we did pull up a Cornell Law University. They're saying it doesn't quite get rid of you being able to say, I'm not talking to you until I see my attorney. It's saying if the police can trick you to talk, they can now use it as admissible, but it is a pretty big deal. Jason, your comments on that?
Yeah, it really fired me up, Alex. I couldn't believe it, because now the cops are just going to say, oh, he said he didn't need a lawyer. It's going to be the cop's word against yours when they interrogate you, and it's going to be expensive.
Well, it's like rulings saying you don't have a Fourth Amendment now.
Yeah, and then on top of that, they always make it look like it was so close. Oh, it's 5-4. When was the last time we saw a 9-0 or a 7-2 ruling? It's always 5-4. Oh, we were this close to keeping your civil liberties.
Oh, but the liberals are protecting you. They want to ban your free speech, but they'll allow you to not have to answer questions. It's all a dog and pony show.
Exactly. And I was just so upset. I can't believe that if I get, pulled over, detained, and I say, I'm not talking to you until I get my lawyer here, they'll just be like, okay, and just, throw me to the side, maybe hit me with a baton. Oh, he came in with...
But they already do that. I know a lot of people get thrown in jail for months without lawyers.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's happening.
Putting it on paper. That's the problem. They're making a Supreme Court decision about it. Yes, are police corrupt? Yes. Have they done this before? Yes. But now they're saying, it's okay, police. You can get away with this now.
Hey, what about La Raza Mecha member, the new Supreme Court nominee? This lady has come right out. Here's her quote. I would hope that a wise Latina woman with the richness of her experiences would more often than not reach a better conclusion than a white male hasn't lived that life. And that's what Judge said. This is out of the New York Times. Said, and it goes on.
And she's a member of La Raza, and there's an even more disturbing quote on the third page.
But you know what La Raza means? It means for our race, everything. For those outside the race, nothing. Folks, I don't care if you're Hispanic or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm sick of the fact that a massive percentage of Hispanics have been filled with this idea that get the gringos, our race is the God race. When we had the mayor here, he had Aslan Day and said, we are the super race. And it says, whether born from experience or inherent psychological or cultural differences, she said, for jurists who are women and non-white, our gender and national origins may and will make a difference in our judging. So, yeah, this is like a commissar who's going to inject race into this. This is what creates the racism, folks. The good old folks at New Silver Solution. And the website is supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. This is something that kills bacteria, viruses, you name it, well documented. They've got it down to a super small nano-sized particle. Supernaturalsilver.com. Check them out at Infowars.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. A key European Union Bilderberg Group document has just surfaced. Great article by a listener. Posted at Infowars.com. Aaron's going to pop in for like 5 minutes coming up, and then I'm going to continue with your phone calls for everybody that is patiently holding. And we're going to be talking to Jason Burmas finishing up just a moment about this horrid Supreme Court nominee. I mean, could I just have a Hispanic Supreme Court judge that doesn't believe Texas and California belong to Mexico and doesn't believe that the plan of San Diego should, I mean, if she's part of La Raza, for the race everything, for those of us other race nothing, she believes in the implementation of the plan of San Diego. And I mean, you know, again, if you don't know what that is, Google the plan of San Diego, and people will see it on screen. University of Texas, University of Mexico City. It is the plan to kill all whites 16 and above and re-educate all whites. And this is what is taught by Mecha, La Raza, and I mean, I'm against the Ku Klux Klan, but they're not saying they have a plan to kill all blacks. I mean, this is amazing. And that's off the University of Texas right there. So you can read about the plan to kill you and your family right there that the new Supreme Court nominee would like to carry out. Very, very disgusting. See, their racism's good, and then everybody else is supposed to stand down and be overrun by it. And that's what the global bankers want. You've done a lot of research on this lady. There's that New York Times article you were talking about. Other points about the Mexican supremacist to be our new gun-grabbing leader.
Well, number one, she is a council member on La Raza. So she's not a member, you know, she's a council member.
Yeah, like Hermann Goering was on the council of Hitler.
Yeah.
She's on the council of, this.
Yeah, and she's a Bush 1 appointee back in the 90s in New York. You know this lady is going to come in and take away our sovereignty.
She's a globalist.
Yes, she's about a North American Union. I don't want to lose my sovereignty to Canada. I don't want to lose my...
Well, by the way, she and others have said, that's what's not getting attention, like all the liberal Supreme Court members have said, we're going to follow UN and NATO and Hague courts, World Court. That's our boss. This is high treason. But see, if you're not for high treason, you hate Mexicans, Burmas.
And that's just not the case. You know, I could care less what color you are.
No, see, they make it racial. Mm-hmm. They make us defend ourselves. She's a Mexican supremacist. She's an America hater.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what? They're having this new immigration reform meeting on June 8th.
They call it reform, total capitulation.
Exactly. It's going to be illegal immigration. Illegal immigrants are no longer illegal. That's why these domestic lexicons say if you're anti-illegal immigration, you're an extremist. If you believe in the Constitution and Bill of Rights, you're an extremist. This is the wildest thing in the world. They're really gearing up, I think, within the next 2 years to just totally eviscerate.
And she loves to talk about how white males are bad. Imagine if we came out and said Mexicans were bad.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, you're a bad guy because you were born white and a man? I mean, we should all be judged on...
Look. If the British Empire would have been run by Africans, everybody would hate blacks. Mm-hmm. They hate whoever is dominant and takes over. And the truth is, all these groups just wish they could take over, is the issue. I want everybody to have liberty and freedom now. I don't care what color you are. Stop letting them use left-right racial politics. Burmas, anything else?
That's all I got for you, Alex.
But you'll be back tonight with the Info Warrior, 9 to midnight, right here on GCN and at Infowars.com. Stay with us. Back in 70 seconds.